This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
So I've been using TikTok for almost, if not half of my life now, at least since 2018. So not only have I seen its ups and downs, but it's also seen mine growing up. So as I grew up between my childhood and early teenhood, this app kind of started to become built inside of me as a place to go when I'm sad, happy, or more commonly just when I'm bored. Over time, this ended up just making me more attached to the app in ways that I didn't even want to be sometimes. I mean, I can name countless times where I just wanted to sit down and do some work, whether it's homework, editing, scripting. And almost every time I feel the slightest moment of boredom or some sort of friction, my hand just reaches over to my phone or that new tab button to open up TikTok. Only do I realize like 15 minutes later that I had literally done that subconsciously as if it was against my will. Not only was that the definition of addiction, but what kind of addiction really is it? Sure, social media addiction, yeah, whatever. How bad really is it for myself? And I mean, is it even? So let's break it down. Essentially, the idea of this addiction is being addicted to scrolling, right? So as every single platform now has their own short form system, it's fair to use that as the root problem. So when you're watching this kind of content, what you're doing is watching these short videos that range from 7 to 30 seconds long. Anytime you feel the slightest sense of boredom, you can just swipe your thumb on the screen and instantly find something else more entertaining. You're just doing this over and over and over for hours. So then this build up over years and years is pretty damaging in a lot of ways. Such as prime examples can be to your attention span, which trains your brain over time to have a harder time paying attention to something. Also killing your boredom, which may actually sound like a good thing, but in reality, most best things come out of you when you're bored. In that case, it's fair to say killing boredom kills creativity. And your memory. When you're conditioning yourself to scroll for hours a day where you're just unmeaningfully taking in random information, so just like everything else in life, with enough repetition, you'll get good at it. Good at not processing information, which just means having weak memory. So I can say, at least for me personally, I find myself more and more in a situation where I'm in a room forgetting why I'm there. Or when I'm in a conversation and a third of the words I want to use won't actually come to my mind. I'm obviously pulling out from my own personal experiences from what I've been able to see for myself, but if you need something more factual and official to back this up, then I linked this podcast in the description, which I watched the other day, which kind of just gets deep into everything that I'm talking about here. Now, I kind of see this as serious brain rot. I mean, it's literally rotting your brain from some of the core things that separate us from being a human and a robot. I mean, heck, even the most robotic guy says he won't even use the app anymore because it feels like it was prodding his brain. Therefore, the algorithm made him feel uncomfortable. So if you look at the way how the world is going right now, being more robotic is going to benefit these corporations who set up these systems in the first place. So one of my biggest reasons for quitting TikTok was that brain rot aspect, as it really didn't serve me much of a purpose to making edits on there, making it more of a no-brainer for me to distance myself from this platform. The thing is, I've obviously been thinking about this for a while now, but what was the big decision maker for me to quit now was the new TikTok terms of conditions. Not too long ago, I was in my media arts class. The class topic was just everything about the internet. Soon enough, my teacher gets to how DuckDuckGo is the best browser for your own privacy. But as it really isn't, I kind of just brought up how they still share information with other companies, for example, like Microsoft. Or in the case where a government decides to raise a finger, then all of a sudden, nothing's private. But my teacher just responded and said that my generation moving on will truly never have privacy. And how we should probably be getting used to it at this point because what can we really do? And the sad part to it was the fact that he's right. We will never truly have privacy with how the world is moving now. But what's really pissing me off is how nobody cares. It just became such a normalized thing to allow these mass corporations to know everything about us in a way where they'll likely end up using it against us in their favor. And the company on top of that game is known as Oracle. You've definitely seen their logo somewhere before. Unless you're already familiar with what I'm talking about, you probably have no idea what they actually do. To put it simply, is that they own one of the biggest databases in the world, which is somehow connected to all these companies in a way. And the CEO is also besties with this guy and their controversial military, and this guy, which now shares their data with this controversial government organization. But as this channel is more about video editing than politics, I'm gonna avoid getting deeper into that. But the point I'm trying to get across here is that never trust a company when they say your data is safe, because they probably have this guy holding a gun to their head. Okay, but what does any of this have to do with TikTok? If you remember a few months back, TikTok was about to get banned in the US, as a solid amount of the users on the platform were US citizens. If the CEO didn't want TikTok to go downhill, his only option was to sell a portion of the company to someone who was more American. And guess who bought that out? Now the truth is, if you look deeper into Oracle, they really do own a solid chunk or have some sort of partnership with every company you can think of, including Google and Facebook, which powers two of my other platforms that I still actually use. In that case, if I quit TikTok, I should probably be quitting Instagram and YouTube, right? To be fair with you, I can't really bring myself around to that right now, and I don't know if I actually ever will. But what makes TikTok different from all these other platforms is that Oracle literally owns the massive majority of it compared to the rest of the platforms. Not only does that mean they could trade everything about you that you shared on the app with anyone else, but they can also change the app in any way they want. Personally, I have not been on the app for more than a week or two after it was bought out, but I have recently heard how a lot of people are claiming the app has changed with its algorithm, and then the moderation also being weird as a whole. So personally, I think I left the app at the best time. As the famous quote goes, either you die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Remember, kids, your privacy is much more important than you think it is. Be aware of the terms and conditions you're clicking accept to and the kind of cookies that you're accepting. Because at the end of the day, if something is free, then that just means you're the product.
Alright, so before I get into what I'll be doing next after TikTok, I want to quickly talk about something that's been helping me through this shift. Something that could have helped me improve faster on my editing journey, maybe even could have made it smoother on my end, getting rid of unnecessary hassles. And I'm not referring to scrolling, it was also about how I was creating. Jumping between tools, breaking flow, just making everything feel harder than it needed to be. I began to look for something that felt a bit more natural to use. And that's where I found Lovart. Instead of forcing it into my process, it kind of just fits into it. Like, one of the pretty unique things to Lovart is this canvas where you can generate a bunch of different ideas at once to help you with your creative process. Like, look, I can literally generate hundreds of variations of photos in minutes, and they actually look like they belong to the same project, the same character, the same lighting, and the same vibe. So it feels less like random output and more like I'm actually building something. It keeps that creative flow going without stopping me every 2 seconds. They've also got different models like Nano Banana 2 and Nano Banana Pro. What it is this improved model for generating videos and photos. Then instead of having to generate random stuff and hoping that it works, Lovart's new tool Seedance 2.0 is what actually made things start to click. So I just have to select a new project inside of Lovart, then I'll select Seedance 2.0 from the skill selection here. Now I'm gonna ask it to make me a complete behind the scenes video of what the new Dune movie may look like. Just like that, I get this awesome video. Check it out. And if I want a different angle or to make things feel more cinematic, I don't have to restart. I just have to left click, multi-angles, then move the slider around to get the angle that I want, then it'll generate exactly that. Everything can stay the way it is, and I can modify whatever I need to. Instead of having to generate something new every few seconds to figure out something new, I can just stay locked in to generate so much more results at once, making my job so much more smoother and easier. And I mean, look at the results. If you ask me, I wouldn't have been able to tell if that was AI or not. If you want to try it out, Lovart is luckily running a launch deal right now for up to 45% off. The link is going to be in the description and pinned comment. Now, let's get into the more emotional part of the video. Well, the thing is, I never really wanted to leave TikTok in the first place. Like I said, that app made me who I am. I made some of my closest friends on it, learned some of the deepest lessons of my life, went through countless phases on it, and heck, it's even the reason why I got into editing in the first place. If it wasn't for that app, I honestly don't even know where I would be today. So I am grateful for all the opportunities TikTok has given me, the community I built on it, being able to get back into one of my favorite shows again, and later on editing the show when nobody else was. I was becoming part of a small amount of individuals that helped revive that fandom again, kind of becoming a full circle moment of bringing people back to their childhood show, the same way how it happened to me 4 years ago. So I will say, I'll always cherish those moments of growing on the platform, from making my first ever editing account, which was a joint account with my friend, which will never get leaked, to my couple of other editing accounts I got banned, coming upon the username Reverse Start, to hitting 1k, 10k, 50k, then 100,000 followers. Heck, at some point even getting Tom Cavanaugh in one of my edits, then getting to show it to him in person. Those are just some priceless experiences The truth is, if it was never for me downloading that app, I don't think any of this would have ever happened. So I am grateful. So grateful. But to be fully honest with you, I have also begun to feel a bit of a burnout from the start of 2025 till the end of it. Now, as it's 2026, I'm being very careful to avoid it. And in that case, it's also caused me to become very inconsistent in my final months on the app. So I'm happy I'm able to allow that era of my editing journey rest where it did, as I didn't want to watch myself burn through the passion of making these edits. Once again, as the quote goes,
You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
but what's next now? I do want to make it clear that I'm quitting TikTok, but I'm not quitting editing in any way. I may not be entirely consistent with my traditional edits these days, but I'm trying my best to make them in the best way I can while still producing these videos for you guys. So I just want to say thank you all who tuned in, whether you used to watch my edits on TikTok, or if you came from my editing tutorials, or heck, even if this is the first video you've ever watched from me. I am grateful for it all. Hopefully soon, I'll start producing the best content I can for you guys here on this channel, while still making edits that I can enjoy and that you will too on my other platforms.
I'd rather not go.